What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know. So we're back again. Yes, again. I'm back, and hopefully the webcams looks a little better. Hopefully, I don't know what's up with it. Should just get a DSL. What was it? DSLR? Yeah, camera. Should get a real camera. Maybe make room for it in the budget someday. But we're going over day one of, I guess, free agency. It's not all official till Thursday. But a lot of deals have kind of already been arranged, and let's go over those today. But first and foremost, become a bro and subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Threw the thumbs up a little early, my bad. But let's go ahead, let's get into this, and let's go ahead and hit them with the yeah, that's a beauty of a overlay, ain't it? So we're gonna go over the winners and the losers today. We're gonna go over every team, and we're gonna try to get through this because a lot of deals went down. Let's start with Arizona, and they are a winner for me. I just really like is the DeAndre Hopkins trade. They made out and they just stole that. That is just unbelievable. They threw a transition tag on Kenyon Drake, which solid. I mean, it's gonna be, he's gonna get paid over a little over 10 million, but I'm fine with that. Maybe they could get something a little cheaper done over maybe a 3 or 4 year period. But yeah, man, being able to unload David Johnson's contract was huge. I'm not a big fan of the Larry Fitzgerald. The 1 year, 11 million feels more like a nostalgia contract, but I like their moves. I like their moves for the most part. Then Atlanta, I'm a little indifferent. I got them sitting here right now. They're not quite losers. I know they didn't have a lot of cap space, and they made a lot of moves to free up that cap space. But the Tyler Davison trade was, or the Tyler Davison signing was okay. It gets good depth on the line, but now they need to get actual starters. The trade I wasn't a huge fan of. Yes, I think they may have gotten an upgrade over Austin Hooper in Hayden Hurst. I think he provides much more as far as athleticism. I really think that Austin Hooper was a product of the scheme there. So, because what he did, what he did was he was schemed open, man. Let's be honest. A lot of it was him sitting in zone, and just them hitting him the ball. I think Hayden Hurst can do that and more. So I don't mind the trade. Giving up the second rounder, I'm kind of iffy about. Granted, they do have two, so it is what it is. Let's move on. The Baltimore Ravens, they're winners for me. I love the Calais Campbell trade. They got a way above average starter for only a 5th rounder. The franchise tag on Matt Judon, hopefully they trade him. For me, just he takes up a lot of their cap space with that, and I think they only franchised him to move him, what I think. And then the Michael Brockers, I think he got a little overpaid, but I do like them adding more onto that defensive line. Then just getting the 2nd rounder and the 5th rounder for Atlanta, I think was huge. And then Matt Secure, give them putting an original tender on him to keep him, as long as no one makes an offer sheet on him, then I don't mind it one bit. Buffalo Bills, they're winners, big time winners. They gave away their 1st rounder, but they got Stephon Diggs. And they only had to dish out a couple of a 5th and a 6th rounder, and then a 4th rounder in the 2021 trade. So I don't mind it. I love it. You get more weapons for Josh Allen. He last year, I think John Brown and oh my gosh, why am I blanking on Cole Beasley's name? They got open to a large extent. Stephon Diggs brings the same. I think that's just going to be a nightmare for defenses. And on top of that, Josh Norman, adding Mario Addison and AJ Klein, I think are solid moves. They're, for the most part, they're very Bill-like players. They will adhere to this type of philosophy the Bills teach on defense. And then Quinn Spain, I think that was a great re-sign in there. Carolina Panthers, I got them down as losers here. They haven't done much of anything actually in this first day of free agency. I hated the Russell Okung trade. The Kyle Allen, I like that. Bring him back for another year because I really think they're probably going to get a quarterback in the 2021 draft. And then Weatherly and Burris, they didn't bring them on big deals, but still no big splashes here. This very much feels like a team that's about to tank this season. Chicago Bears, they're in the loser category for me as well. I hate them giving Jimmy Graham $8 million a year. I hate Danny Trevathan, his 3 years, $21 million, maybe $24 million. I don't like that at all. I thought they should have kept Kowalski. Probably butchered that name, but I think they should have kept him. I think he was far better. Well, he was on the field more. He was healthy. He was able to get on the field. That's Trevathan's biggest thing over the last couple of years. He hasn't been able to play. He's been hurt. And then Nick Williams, I think, was a solid re-signing, but nothing too big, too extravagant. It sounds like Teddy Bridgewater is out of the Bears. It looks like the Bears are out of the Bridgewater sweepstakes because it sounds like they're looking at a variety of quarterbacks. I don't know who, because now Mariota went to, I was about to say Oakland, Las Vegas. Now, let's talk about Cincinnati Bengals. They are losers for me because they have so much cap, and all they did was franchise tag A.J. Green. Granted, this is being done on Monday night. A lot can change in one day, but with no big moves, I mean, you can't really call them winners from just bringing back someone that didn't really help him last year. Granted, he was hurt. And then the Cleveland Browns, I'm on the fence about them, but I'm more so leaning towards I think they won today. They got guys that'll go with the philosophy of the new head coach there. Conklin, Hooper, I love the Case Keenum coming in as the backup for $6 million a year. They're probably going to be able to retain Kareem Hunt. And even if they can't, they get a second rounder back. I like it. And then the Cowboys, because this one, I had them as losers until Amari Cooper's contract came in. They needed to re-sign Amari. They had to. And they managed to get it done. I like the Blake Jarwin deal because a lot of it's paid up front of the first year, so they could honestly ditch him after a year or two if he doesn't really play up to that contract. And it really depends on what they're going to be. I feel like they've done everything they needed to do. And then the Broncos, I got a lot of winners here today. I got the Broncos as winners. I think they've been making good moves. Getting Glasgow, it was just solid. He's going to come in. He's going to immediately upgrade that offensive line. If they're able to get a long-term deal done with Simmons, that would be huge. And then AJ Boye, I love that. All they had to do was ditch a fourth rounder, and they've already have a plethora of picks. So good job by the Broncos on day one here. And the Detroit, I got them down as losers, man. I don't like any of they're too big free agents right now. Jamie Collins, I think they overpaid. I think Collins should have been paid closer to $7 to $8 million a year. Instead, they're dishing him out $10 million a year. And then Big V here, I don't know in what world did he earn $10 million. He's been a solid backup there for the Eagles. He's been able to come in and play guard as well. But to get $10 million a year, I think that was kind of outrageous. But I mean, this is just my opinion on it. And then the Green Bay Packers, I got them middle of the road. I'm not too sure. I really like the Rick Wagner the sign-in. 2 years, $11 million. You got a decent starter for cheap. And then I've come around. I'm looking into the details of the Christian Kirksey sign-in because it looked off the bat 2 years, $16 million. You're gonna pay this guy $8 million a year, but a lot of that's with incentives. It's closer to a $4 million per year contract, which I think is way more reasonable. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm in between with them right now. I want to see them do maybe make one or two more big moves. And then the Houston Texans, you already know they're losers. They're way down there. They're way down there. They lost the day. I mean, they overpaid Randall Cobb. They overpaid Eric Murray. Ugh, I didn't like them bringing back Darren Fells. I mean, I guess I didn't mind it. I thought they overpaid their kicker. I thought they overpaid Bradley Roby. I expected him to get overpaid, but I was thinking 11 million. They one-upped me. They threw another million there, 12 million a year on 3 years. That's and then they're just getting a second rounder, David Johnson. They're paying for that that just nightmare of a contract. It was just a bad day. I mean, I think this is the consensus. This is a very objective, not subjective, an objective view of how the Texans treated day one of free agency. I think everyone thinks it's bad. Maybe it ends up turning out not to be, but I think we all could agree there. And then the Colts. I got the Colts here as winners. I think they did what they needed to do. Yeah, they gave up a first-round pick, but they got DeForest Buckner. They're going to pay him $21 million per year, as that's what it sounds like. There's no actual details on the deal yet. But I don't mind them giving up a first rounder for a guy that could really come out and help immediately. And the Colts, they're really good at drafting. They were probably going to trade down from that pick anyway instead. Or even if they went with a guy like Derek Brown or Javon Kinlaw, you got a guy that's already far ahead of those two guys. And then I love them getting Costanzo back. Probably going to be his last. This is going to be his final contract with the team. He's probably going to retire after this deal. So you're getting one of the best tackles in the league for a little over $16 million a year. I like it. And then Jacksonville Jaguars, they lost. Look at what unless they're going to move Yannick Ngakoue, because I really think they should move him. Just because this team looks like it's in rebuild. Yes, he's a good young piece, but not for that price. I mean, I think the tag's gonna end up being like 19 million. I don't think it's a 19 million. He's not that elite type of pass rusher. And then they from dishing out Khalees Campbell and AJ Boye, they only have a 4th and a 5th rounder to show for it. I'm just not a fan. And then Kansas City, I think they lean for me more towards winners than actual in between, just because they kept the status quo. It sounds like they're trying to get a contract extension done with Chris Jones, which is great. They picked up the option on Damian Williams at running back. I don't think it really mattered, because I think anyone could play running back for the Chiefs, and that offense isn't reliant on a running back. So I like it. They just kind of kept the status quo. They're going to probably build through the draft. And then the Raiders, I'm in between right now, but I'm leaning more so liking it. Depending on what the details are on the Marcus Mariota trade, that'll probably come out tomorrow. Sounds like it's I don't know what the details are on the actual deal, but I like them bringing in competition for Derek Carr. Maybe Mariota could come in and Tannehill himself to a big contract next season. Again, I like the Kowalski. I like Nick. I like the Nick pickup. I like the 3 years, 21 million. Kind of a placeholder. They could honestly draft a guy if they want to this year, play alongside him, eventually be the replacement, because I think he's solid. I think he's a good starter. So I got them kind of in this in-between area. As for the Chargers, I've loved what they've done. I'm not in love with what, you know what, I am in love with what they did. They franchised Hunter Henry. So basically it's kind of like a prove it deal, unless they plan on extending him immediately. Because I just want to see, we know what he is on the field. Can he stay healthy, though, for a full season? Austin Eckler, I love them getting a deal done there. He was one of the most vital parts of that offense. And then I love the Turner trade. They definitely won out on that. And they should, in theory, if this was me, the GM, go for one of the top tackles. Immediately, you've improved your line from last season. Los Angeles Rams, they're losers. They did nothing today. Sounds like they're trying to move Gurley. Sounds like they're also trying to somehow re-sign like Fowler, Blythe, who else they got there? Whitworth. Sounds like they're trying to re-sign a lot of their guys. But then at that point, you're just... I don't know. I feel like this team's in cap hell, and they'll keep themselves in cap hell. They're just trying to get themselves out of this hole they've already dug themselves. So, again, they did nothing on today, so they can't be winners, so they're losers. Miami Dolphins, this is where I'm at with them. I'm a Dolphins fan, if you didn't know. Can you tell with the Dolphins hat? Bass Pro Shop. It's a fish. It works. I wanted to love what they did, but it's hard to get behind 10 million for Flowers. It's hard to get behind 10 million for Lawson. It is. It's hard to get behind, what, 4 years, 51 million for Van Noy. It's hard. I could get behind Byron Jones' contract, 17 million. He's one of the better corners in all of football. Pairing him up with Xavier Howard, if everything works out with the domestic abuse, whatever, his arrest or whatnot, that works out. Even if it doesn't, you got Jones. You can move on from Howard. It's just those other three, man. I'm not quite sure. Flowers. It's the Flowers one that bums me out the most. I could be like, okay, Van Noy, okay, it is. I trust Flores to utilize him properly. Okay, Lawson, 10 million, that's kind of crazy, but you know what? The man, he can produce. He's a really good 5 to 6 tech. I could get behind that. But Flowers, man, that was tough. I thought he was gonna get like 6 million a year. And even that was like, ooh, I won't want to put 6 million a year on Flowers. But 10, that just hurts my heart. Minnesota, I got them right here. Kind of, they're moving towards the right direction. They're so close to winners. I thought they freed up a lot of good cap space with the Diggs trade, and I thought they got really good reimbursement for Diggs. They got what, a first rounder, a 5th rounder, a 6th rounder this year, and then a 4th in 2021. They did better than the Texans. I'm just saying that. But outside of that, I mean, if they're able to extend Anthony Harris, I would like that. Or maybe they could ditch. I don't want to say ditch him because he's a very good safety. But if they could get move on from him, be able to get something really good in return, maybe another 1st or 2nd rounder, then I could get behind this team. They're definitely trying to, I don't want to say they're trying to rebuild that defense, but I think they're going to go hard in the secondary, or at least at the corner position in the draft. So I'm liking a lot of their moves. A lot of the moves are kind of a setup. It's a setup move. So it's kind of that wait and see. But it leaves me very eager. And then we got the Patriots. I'm in the middle. It looks like they're trying to retain some of their own guys with the McCourty brothers. Thuney sounds like they're trying to get him to a long-term contract. They brought back Slater. But we really want to know, is Brady coming back? That's kind of going to be what... It's kind of going to decide if they are going to win the offseason or not. So we'll see about that. New Orleans Saints, I got them in the middle too because they kind of just stayed with the status quo. They brought back their own guy, our boy David here, because I don't want to butcher any more last names than I already have. I got our boy David here. He's been a solid rotation player. 9 million a year, that's kind of steep. I haven't looked into the details of the contract, so there might have been a lot of incentives with that. So we'll see, but okay, they brought back a rotation dude. And then it sounds like they're really trying to get this Drew Brees contract done. So again, keeping the status quo, I'll keep them right here. As for the New York Giants, I have them as a loser. I don't like, unless they're gonna dish out. I don't know what they're gonna do with Leonard Williams. I hated them trading for him. I didn't like the trade then, and I just don't know. You're gonna overpay an above average player, an above average run defender, someone you could get late in the 6th round, or late on day 3. So yeah, 6th, 7th round. I just can't get behind it. And then James Bradbury, depending on what defense they deploy, I could be okay with this. I think it's smart to address the secondary. because the secondary was a weakness last year. So I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. But yeah, Larry Williams just, it hurts. Jets, New York teams just losing. You signed George Fant or George Fant to a 3-year, $27 million, could be a $30 million contract. Yeah, Eric Flowers yourself. That's what y'all did. Why don't y'all go out and get, like, even if it's just a placeholder, a stopgap, why didn't you go out and get stinking, I don't know, Andrew Whitworth or Jason Peters? Like, you're gonna have to address in the draft. You're gonna trust this guy to protect Darnold? You're gonna trust this guy to make room for Le'Veon Bell? Another contract you'll regret? I just don't like it. And that was their only move of the day. Eagles, oh, I got him as a maybe. I don't hate the move. I just don't get it. Javon Hargraves, this is what I thought he was going to go for, about this range, $13 million a year. I like the player, but I question the move. I know that they love their hog mollies and they love rotating in and out their defensive line, but I feel like they had more pressing needs. The secondary, maybe wide receiver. Then again, free agents this year for wide receiver aren't that great. Don't tell the Texans that, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of left just like, I don't hate the move. I just question why. Speaking of hated moves, though, I do hate the Steelers, what they've done. I don't mind. They've made a few smart releases. The Holton one, I'm kind of iffy on. I really liked him as a developmental receiver. But Bud Dupree, man, I think they should, unless this is like they're going to try to move him. Because I'm not saying he's a one-year wonder. I'm just saying I don't think he's not an elite pass rusher. That's what you got Watt for. You can honestly, you can get, I think you could get a Bud Dupree level or better edge rusher with their second pick in the second round. Or I guess with their first pick in the second round. With their first pick in general. So I don't like the idea of, I think he's getting like $16 million a year off this tag. So yeah. And then we got the Seattle Seahawks. And again, just kind of a status quo thing with the Seahawks. They put a second round tender on Jacob Hollister, bringing in Greg Olsen. So I kind of like that with Wilt Disley. It looks like they are going to be they're going to keep true to their tradition, run first. So they might have multiple tight ends on the field. So I don't mind that. Bringing back Jaron Reed, I thought was a good move. And it's about the price I thought him and Quinton Jefferson were going to go for. So I don't mind it. Again, And then we got San Fran. I love it. I'm loving it. They got the Colts first round, and they have 2 first rounders. I expect this team to be active, like in trades in the draft. I think they're gonna do a lot of trading down. They're gonna, because after the 31st pick, they don't have a pick till the 5th round. I think they could change that by trading down a ton. I think they could definitely get back a lot of picks. I like them getting Eric Armstead. I know they had to ship DeForest Buckner for it, but I think they made, in the long run, the more cost-effective move. And then it looks like they're going to re-sign Jimmy Ward. It's a pretty big deal. I didn't look at the details because it kind of just popped up before I recorded this. But I don't mind it. I still think they could upgrade from him, but he did his level of play was pretty good last year, so I don't mind them retaining their own guys. I'm just so in love with the trade. That's really what it comes down to. I'm in love with that trade. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got them borderline. I got them going towards losers a little bit. I don't mind the tag on Barrett. I think that's kind of what they had to do. Jason Pierre-Paul. I know a lot of people love this signing. I'm not. I think you give him Campbell money. I'm not about that. 2 years, 27 million. I'd be more comfortable if it was like a 10 to 11 million dollar deal. I don't think he was that. I don't want to say he wasn't that essential to the team, but I don't know. I gotta look at the details on this, see how much dead money it would be to, like, if they'd have to drop him next season. But again, I'm just not in love with the moves. I thought they would be a little more active. They might be tomorrow, so I guess we'll wait and see. And then I'm gonna take a sip because y'all ain't gonna like this next one. There was literally no water in there. I really need water. I got the Tennessee Titans as losers. There, I said it. I said it. I hate the Tannehill contract. I thought they had to franchise Ryan Tannehill. Basically a prove it deal. Instead, they knew they were going to have to franchise Derrick Henry, so they did their darndest to make sure they could get a deal done with Tannehill. And now they're locked into him for the next 2 to 3 seasons. And if it goes south, Vrabel could lose his job. So Vrabel, he is going to be tied to Tannehill success. That's just how it's going to go. I don't like it. I'll say this. I love the Dennis Kelly re-signing, 3 years, 21 million. He deserves it. That's why I wasn't too worried. I didn't think they were going to re-sign Coughlin anyway, because Kelly's an adequate starter at right tackle. It's just the Tannehill, Derrick Henry. I hate how they approached it. If they really wanted Derrick Henry so bad, get something done with him. I thought they could have maybe got him at like 4 years, 44, 45 million. Instead, they give Tannehill 118 million. I'm not about it. And then the Washington Redskins, I got them somewhere in between. That's just what it is. They've made moves. Like, I love them getting Brandon Sharif. Hopefully they get him back. If they can move Trent Williams, that would be awesome, because I would think they would love to get back into the second round. Kendall Fuller, I think they overpaid a little bit, but man, he's coming back maybe to a hero's welcome. Because remember, back in Washington, he was one of the best slot corners in all of football, so maybe you could do that. And then they just made some maintenance stuff. Got Wes, the guard Wes Schweitzer. I can't pronounce names, I'm sorry. But the former Atlanta guy. So that's all right. And then re-signing Bostic. It's a very small deal, so I don't mind that. So like, I'm in between with it. But anyway, that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And be on the lookout for more content on the way. I will have a mock draft coming out kind of when free agency dies down a little bit. And I'm going to do a 2021 mock draft. But my voice is starting to give out. So until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.